Very good evening, everyone. Welcome to our 5 Paisa Live webinar. Uh, every week, we try and get industry experts on our platform and we let them share with you their experience on various range of topics with respect to investments, stocks, and other stuff. Today, I am really very happy to have Mr. Ajay Bagga with us. Mr. Ajay Bagga is a veteran of the Indian financial service industry with over 30 years of experience. He has led institutions across all its sectors and worked with global market leaders like Citigroup, General Electric, and Deutsche Bank. He was the youngest CEO of the mutual fund industry at the age of 36, heading Kotak Mahindra Asset Management and Lotus India Asset Management. He was the country head and managing director of Deutsche Bank, leading its private wealth management division. He's a private investor in both public and private space and serves on the boards of many companies. He has served on various financial industry committees and think tanks and has been chairman of Financial Planning Standards Board of India. He's a regular contributor to electronic and print media with more than 5,000 TV appearances and 100 articles. For last 2.5 decades, he has been associated as a trustee with Art of Living Foundation. I'm really glad to have Mr. Bagga with us. Uh, Very good evening, Ajay, and welcome to 5 Paisa Live. I'm sure with our today's interaction, our investors will get a good insight, especially during the times when there are a lot of questions rather than answers. I'm sure they will be able to get some answers out of this. For convenience, we'll keep this conversation both Hindi and English because our customers who are seeing right now, all our viewers would prefer if you interact in both the languages. So now over to you, Ajay, and I'll be a patient listener here.
Thank you, Prakash, for that very nice introduction. बेसिकली अभी अगर मार्केट का माहौल देखें तो एक मेडिकल क्राइसिस आया विद द कोरोना वायरस विच बिकेम एन इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस. सो मेडिकल क्राइसिस इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस में तब्दील हुआ और पर्सनल क्राइसिस बन गया है कि 3.5 लाख मौतें हुई हैं दुनिया भर में. 3.5 लाख people have lost their lives. Millions have got infected. More than about 70 million jobs have been lost worldwide already. 7 करोड़ नौकरियां गई हैं, जिसमें से 4 करोड़ अमेरिका में ही है, और शायद ये 7 करोड़ का आंकड़ा भी अंडर रिपोर्टेड है. Maybe this 7 crores also is under reported. It's probably nearer to something like 10 crore jobs have been lost. So we are in very difficult times. 5 major trends that we are seeing. One, globalization is reducing. So इससे हानि होगी. जो ग्लोबलाइजेशन पिछले 30-40 सालों से चल रही थी, उसकी जगह बहुत एक मेरा देश पहले इस तरह का फीलिंग आ जाएगा. सो nations will become very isolationist. Second, data is becoming very powerful. So data colonization, be it by big technology or by countries, will be the real wars being fought. हमने देखा कि डेटा के बेसिस पे अमेरिकन ईरान के पावर स्टेशंस को उड़ा सकते हैं, या इजरायलीज वैसा कर सकते हैं. तो डेटा बहुत पावरफुल रहेगा. जो भी डेटा कंट्रोल करेगा वही दुनिया को कंट्रोल करेगा. तो जैसे इन द 1700s, whoever ruled the seas ruled the world, be it first Spain, then Netherlands, then England. Whoever ruled the seas ruled the world. Then it became whoever ruled the industries and had the weapons. And now data is the new weapon. That's the second big thing. The third major thing is big government. So सरकारें अब निजी क्षेत्र में भी उतरेंगी, आपके ऊपर काफ़ी सर्वेलेंस रहेगा। जैसे हम यहाँ आरोग्य सेतु ऐप और ये सब चीज़ें हैं। लगभग 30 कंट्रीज़ ने ऐसी ट्रैकिंग ऐप्स जारी की हैं। सो वो बहुत बड़ा रहेगा, प्राइवेसी कम होगी और बिग ब्रदर इज़ वॉचिंग यू will become the new normal. That's the third big thing. Fourth is health will come very center of plate for governments. Health expenditure of GDP as part of GDP is very low globally. Even in America, it is the highest, but Europe में अच्छा है, but ज़्यादातर emerging markets it's very low. In India also, it's hardly 1.5-2% of GDP is the annual health expenditure. तो सरकारों का फोकस हेल्थ के ऊपर आएगा। प्राइवेट सिटीजन्स का फोकस भी हेल्थ के ऊपर आएगा। लोगों को पसंद नहीं रहेगा कि हमें पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट से रोज 4-4 घंटे ट्रैवल करना है, जैसे हम लोग बॉम्बे में करते हैं। एक साइड पे 2 घंटे ट्रेन ले लेती है कई बारी। तो हेल्थ का फोकस बहुत आएगा। और पांचवा है न्यू कंज्यूमर निकल के आएगा। जो न्यू कंज्यूमर है, काफ़ी ट्रेंड्स जो दिख रही हैं कि ऑनलाइन कॉमर्स बहुत चल रहा है। ऑनलाइन सब कुछ, लोग कारें भी कई देशों में लोग खरीद रहे हैं। इनफैक्ट वॉल्वो ने अपने 70,000 कर्मचारियों को टिकटॉक की ट्रेनिंग दी। वॉल्वो हैज ट्रेन्ड 70,000 ऑफ इट्स एम्प्लॉइज इन हाउ टू अपलोड videos on TikTok to entertain customers and ensure that they end up buying the car. Or FaceTime or WhatsApp पे cars are being examined and being bought. So online purchases will become a very big part. Second, a lot of sectors will go off forever. A lot of new sectors will emerge, as happens every time when there is such a big change. तो बहुत ऐसे सेक्टर्स आएंगे, बहुत सारे सेक्टर्स पिछड़ जाएंगे। हमें नहीं पता स्पोर्ट्स किस तरह से लौटेगा। हमें नहीं पता सिनेमास किस तरह से काम करेंगे। If you take restaurants, for example, the average restaurant net margin is not more than 9 to 12%. And if only 50% or 33% customers can come to a restaurant, they can't make money. So restaurants पे काफी प्रॉब्लम है और अभी इस मॉडल में। और सारा दारोमदार अब रहेगा दो चीजों पे कि व्हेन इज द क्योर फाउंड। कोई अगर स्थायी क्योर फाइंड किया जाए इस बीमारी के लिए, या वैक्सीन। वैक्सीन नॉर्मली 4 से 10 साल लग जाते हैं, बट ये है कि 70 एक्शंस चल रहे हैं दुनिया भर में। 70 companies and organizations are working on vaccines, and just today Pfizer CEO said that they are expecting to launch a vaccine by October. Not lot of vaccines are being tested on human beings already, so they have started phase 1, but it is a long drawn out process और failure rate काफी रहता है। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि अगले महीने तक वैक्सीन आ जाएगी। तो ये बीमारी तो रहने वाली है, ये वायरस रहने वाला है। हमें अपने तौर तरीके बदलने पड़ेंगे। वील हैव टू चेंज द वे वी फंक्शन, ऑफिसेज विल चेंज, entertainment will change. If you look at US, where we have the best data, credit card spends are down 12% year on year. People are spending not on mass entertainment, but individual entertainment. Uh, Playing golf, for example, going fishing, hiring boats. अ, लोग बाहर जाना पसंद कर रहे हैं। जहाँ लॉकडाउन खुला है तो पार्क्स में, ऐसी जगहों पे, बनिस्बत इसके कि सिनेमा घरों में या बार्स में या रेस्टोरेंट्स में, ऐसी जगहों पे लोग नहीं जा रहे। तो द न्यू कंज्यूमर, काफ़ी रिसर्च निकली है। मेरे पास लगभग 100 से ज़्यादा रिपोर्ट्स हैं। उसका मैं आपको विश्लेषण ट्विटर पे भेजूँगा अगले 2 हफ्ते में। धीरे-धीरे मैं भी कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि उन सब के इनसाइट्स टुगेदर किए जाएँ, तो वो ज़रूर मैं भेजूँगा। तो ये एक ब्रॉड पैरामीटर है। कि ये वायरस किसी को नहीं छोड़ता, आम या खास मंत्री हो या संतरी, everybody is part of the victim list of this virus. It will change a lot of things, but what we have seen with history, that normalization also happens, equilibrium changes, the level of equilibrium will change, lot of things will change, but normal functioning will come back eventually, whether with a vaccine or with a cure. So that's the opening. Now coming to stock markets, what is today I'm not teaching you technical analysis that when there is a crossover or a golden cross or a death cross, वो सब आपके पास बहुत लोग हैं सिखाने के लिए. मेरा क्या आइडिया है आज आपको एड्रेस करने में, टू टेल यू सम ब्रॉड थीम्स दैट हैव वर्कड फॉर मी over 30 years, try to give you some advice on how you can plan your investment life, and then you can get deeper and deeper into other things, uh, on the technicals and on algos and all that. So I'm not going to give you कि आज आप ये स्टॉक खरीद लीजिए, और उसके पीछे भी एक कारण है. एक तो कंप्लायंस है, बट सबसे बड़ा कारण है कि जैसे हम इन्वेस्टर कैंप में भी देते हैं, कुछ तो अच्छे चल जाते हैं, लोग कहते हैं सर मेरी बेटी की शादी मैं कर पाया, आपने ये स्टॉक दिया था, या इस बात की डिस्कशन हुई थी 10 साल पहले. बट हम आगे बढ़ जाएंगे आपको स्मॉल कैप मिड कैप देके, एक हफ्ते में कोई तब्दीली हो जाती है, द रियलिटी चेंजेस, वी कांट गेट बैक टू यू. And that's why the regulator also says that in public discussions, you should not be giving out stocks like this. That you have to figure out. What we can teach you is how to pick the sector, how to pick the stock, how to discern what will work. Having said that, I want to say one thing very clearly. All the big and successful investors say we can never pick the bottom and we can never pick the top. What we try to do is pick the company, and अगर कंट्री अच्छा ना भी करे, फिर भी आपको कंपनियां जरूर मिल जाएंगी. So even if a country is not doing well, there will be companies doing well. Biggest example of this is Japan. Japan, which economically peaked in 1990, for the last 30 years, it has seen deflation, very slow economic growth, but there are very fantastic companies in Japan which have done very well. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि इकोनॉमिक अगर स्लो डाउन है आपको स्टॉक्स नहीं मिलेंगे. हर स्लो डाउन में भी कुछ स्टॉक्स बुल मार्केट में रहेंगे, वो आपको पिकअप करने हैं. हाँ, ये जरूर है कि हमारा 2 साल पहले मार्केट या 3 साल पहले मार्केट आसान था. आप इंडेक्स फंड खरीद के बैठ सकते थे और आपको पूरे मार्केट का रिटर्न ऑटोमेटिकली मिलता रहता. ये मार्केट थोड़ा मुश्किल है, कॉम्प्लेक्स है. यू विल हैव टू डू स्टॉक पिकिंग ईदर थ्रू अ प्रोफेशनल मैनेजर, थ्रू अ म्यूचुअल फंड, और योरसेल्फ. सो इट्स अ वेरी डिफरेंट मार्केट, but the basic principles of the market are very much the same. So, with that introduction, I would come to your specific plan. What is most pertinent to you? एक तो सबसे पहले आप काम ये करिए, मेरे अच्छे कोलीग्स हैं 30 साल 32 साल के, 2 महीने से घर से नहीं निकले और एकदम से उनको वायरस आ गया. ऐसे ही 60 साल के फ्रेंड्स हैं, 80 साल के बुजुर्ग हैं जिनको मैं जानता हूं, और घर से नहीं निकले और पॉजिटिव टेस्ट हो गए. तो कुछ पता नहीं जिंदगी का ऐसे माहौल में. सबसे पहले आपने क्या करना है, एक फाइल बनाइए, और ये कल परसों में बनाइए, सैटरडे संडे में यू मेक दिस. फैमिली मस्ट नो, फैमिली मस्ट नो उसके ऊपर लिखिए. उसके अंदर अपने सारे पासवर्ड्स लिखिए, हाथ से लिखिए. मैं कंप्यूटर पे डालने को नहीं कहूंगा, कोई चुरा सकता है आपके पासवर्ड्स. हाथ से लिख के कहाँ क्या प्रॉपर्टी है, कहाँ क्या इन्वेस्टमेंट है, क्या पासवर्ड है, क्या आपके रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर का नंबर है, अगर आपको कुछ हो जाता है कैसे लॉग इन करना है, क्या तरीका है, ये सब आप अगले 48 घंटे में एक फाइल बना के रखिए। दूसरा है अपना विल बनाइए। विल बहुत आसान है, आप गूगल पे देखिए, बहुत आपको फॉर्मेट्स मिल जाएंगे। स्टैम्प पेपर की जरूरत नहीं है, वकील की भी जरूरत नहीं है। दो विटनेसेस से अपने सामने साइन करा लीजिए जो आपके रिलेटिव ना हो और जो कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी रखें। विल जरूर बना दीजिए, सिंपल विल है, हस्बैंड वाइफ एक दूसरे को सब कुछ विल कर सकते हैं। आप अपने और उसके बाद जो भी सर्वाइविंग स्पाउस है वो बच्चों के लिए कर सकते हैं, इस तरह के भी बना सकते हैं। तो फैमिली मस्ट नो। और ये बहुत जरूरी है कोरोना के टाइम में, क्योंकि जिंदगी का भरोसा नहीं रहा। एटलीस्ट हम पहले सोचते थे कि चलो अभी 20 साल 30 साल हमें दिख रहा है हाईवे, वो नहीं दिख रहा है। यंगस्टर्स को भी हो रहा है, हर आदमी को परेशानी है। तीसरा जो बड़ी बात है, जो हम कहते हैं बकेट्स, आपके फाइनेंस के बकेट्स, इसमें सबसे पहला बकेट जो हम कहते हैं, आपको सिक्योरिटी बकेट भरना है, आपका सेफ्टी का, इमरजेंसी फंड का। नॉर्मली वी से इमरजेंसी फंड यू पुट इन 6 months ऑफ इमरजेंसी फंड, 6 महीने की एक्सपेंसेस होने चाहिए। ऐसे माहौल में it is better to have a 2 year emergency fund. Why do I say that? Because jobs are being lost, people are being laid off, people are falling ill, people are losing their lives and livelihoods. So, better to be safe. First, fill up your safety bucket. Then we come to the investment bucket, which is the main theme for today. So, with that opening, now I will come to the asset allocation that we are recommending. एक तो गोल्ड जरूर रखना है, और इंडियन गवर्नमेंट इज गिविंग द सॉवरेन गोल्ड बॉन्ड्स। 820 crores came in the April tranche, 1100 crores plus came in the May tranche. Very easy to hold. It will come in your demat account. 2.5% interest is also paid to you, and on maturity you get the gold's value from Government of India. So no credit risk. It is held in electronic form. A very easy way of holding gold. I would say 5 to 10% of your portfolio you should keep in gold. That should be the starting point. Second is increase your cash levels. uh, Market fell and market recovered very sharply globally. Uh, is that now the end? Have we found the bottom? Nobody really knows. Should you continue your SIPs? Yes, you must, because we can't time the market. So what we say, time in the market rather than timing the market. You continue investing in small amounts. Your SIPs you continue. Don't change that. But fresh large portions of money. My personal view is, I had said in April that I'm quite uncomfortable with the way the markets have run up, and I'm seeing a sharp fall. It happened partly in May. Now the market is looking a little better, but I am foreseeing that before October, November, you could have one more sell off in the market. Markets don't make bottoms this easily. What we have seen with history. Now, what is different this time? I must explain that also. 2008, when the markets went down, the great financial crisis, the Fed took about 6 months to come out with the stimulus plan. So Lehman Brothers September 15th को गया, एंड धीरे धीरे करके जब तक फेड ने पूरा किया, और फरवरी हो गया 2009 का, जब तक पूरा स्टिमुलस मार्केट में आया, और मार्च में मार्केट ने बॉटम बना लिया। तो हम ये कह सकते हैं इस बार ही तो फेड ने $3 पहले ही डाल दिए, उन्होंने लेसन लिया हुआ था। तो क्या मार्च में बॉटम बन गया? अब ये दिस काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन nobody has really seen. So very difficult to say whether we have made the bottom. What is my gut feel? Again, it's a guess. Nobody can really say. I would say that bottom formation takes 6 to 12 months, if not years at times. It's very rarely that you will get such a V shape fall and rise, and you think that the bottom is made. The second big thing is economy is going to really suffer. Economic numbers will come very poor. आज शाम को Q1 जीडीपी आ रहा है, पिछले तिमाही का जीडीपी आ रहा है. So India will see degrowth in this year. Global economy will fall 5% for the whole year. India will also fall 5%. That is the latest estimate. We don't know. But April to June, corporate earnings on a whole basis, global basis, are falling 40 to 50% year on year because of the lockdown. So 40 to 50% is what the markets are discounting. Then the next quarter, another 20-25%. And then the third quarter onwards, some kind of plateauing is expected. But some analysts are saying it might take 2 years for 2019 numbers to come back. Some are saying we will bounce back because stimulus itna dala gaya hai. Frankly, nobody knows. This kind of a slowdown was last seen in 1929. There is nobody alive today who was a policymaker at that time. Ben Bernanke did his PhD on the 1929. Those lessons are well learned. But 1929, 11 weeks, the market fell 50%. Then it rose 50%. So everyone thought, ये तो V-shape है. And then it went down 84%. 84%. And the 1929 level of the market did not come back till 1924. 25 years the market did not give a return, despite the World War, despite everything. So that is sobering. What is attractive to us that this kind of stimulus was last put by the US in World War II time. 40% of GDP का उन्होंने स्टिमुलस तब डाला. अभी 35% of GDP ऑलरेडी 2 महीने में डाल दिया, तो 35 आ ही जाएंगे. तो इतना बड़ा स्टिमुलस जब इकोनॉमी में आप डालते हैं, 40% ऑफ जीडीपी आप डालते हैं. जापान ने 40% ऑफ जीडीपी डाला है. चाइना ने पिछले हफ्ते $500 बिलियन का अनाउंसमेंट किया. मेटल्स के लिए वो बहुत पॉजिटिव हो जाता है, कमोडिटीज के लिए पॉजिटिव हो जाता है. सो ग्लोबल विद दिस स्केल वी हैव नेवर सीन such a sharp and a stimulus which is put so closely together. We have never seen. So that is the optimism that the stimulus might work. Pessimism is there is going to be a lot of pain in the economy. Jobs might not come back, so usse consumption might go down and stay down. Uh, Merrill Lynch, Bankham did a recent survey of fund managers. They do a monthly survey. 69% of global fund managers said this is a rally in a bear market. It's not the start of a new bull market. Only 10% said that there will be a V-shaped recovery. 90% said no V-shape. It will be a slow recovery. So we really don't know. What we know is it is still possible to pick stocks and sectors which will be shielded from this kind of an economy. Contribution of Nifty in India's nominal GDP, Nifty 50 के जो profits हैं वो सिर्फ 2% है. 2% of India GDP comes from Nifty profits. So वो correlation directional है. अगर इकोनॉमी बढ़ती है तो निफ्टी भी बढ़ते हैं, निफ्टी अर्निंग्स बढ़ते हैं. इकोनॉमी नीचे बैठती है, निफ्टी के अर्निंग्स नीचे आते हैं. बट इन टर्म्स ऑफ एब्सोल्यूट नंबर्स बहुत छोटा है. तो हम भाग सकते हैं, हम यहाँ से निकल के पैसे बना सकते हैं. ये ऑप्टिमिस्टिकली मैं आपको कहना चाहूंगा. दूसरी बड़ी बात जो है, निफ्टी के जो अर्निंग्स हैं 2015 में मुझे याद है लगभग 50% ऑफ अर्निंग्स ऑफ द निफ्टी स्टॉक्स वाज कमिंग फ्रॉम आउट ऑफ इंडिया. तो 50% डोमेस्टिक से आता था, 50% बाहर से. अब क्योंकि फाइनेंशियल्स इतना बढ़ गए हैं हमारे इकोनॉमी में, फाइनेंशियल्स बढ़ने के कारण uh, ये आ गया है 35% पे. बट स्टिल वन थर्ड ऑफ आवर अर्निंग्स इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन आउटसाइड इंडिया, रेवेन्यूज फ्रॉम आउट ऑफ इंडिया, जहां सब ये स्टिमुलस चल रहा है. Two-thirds are dependent on Indian economy, Indian government, what the Indian consumer does. So that also gives you a chance to pick up. Now, I'll wait for Prakash to ask a few questions. I'm seeing a lot of questions coming. Maybe we can start taking some of them.
Sure, sure. Thanks, Ajay, for the introduction. There are good points that you made. Is obviously picture is grim. इतनी अच्छी आउटलुक अभी है नहीं, और जो हम सब बिल्कुल जानते हैं, और बट ये नहीं जानते कि ये पेन कितना ज्यादा रहने वाला है. तो टू पॉइंट्स दैट यू मेंशन्ड, वन वाज कि अब जो पहले ग्लोबलाइजेशन था, अब लोकलाइजेशन है. एंड
जी.
बिकॉज एक ये पूरा एक स्ट्रक्चरल चेंज हो रहा है, सो देर आर जॉब लॉसेस, और एक न्यू नॉर्मल बनेगा और एक नए तरह की दुनिया आएगी. तो डू यू थिंक दैट लोकलाइजेशन, दो ओवरऑल इट माइट नॉट बी दैट ग्रेट, बट देर इज सम अपॉर्चुनिटी इन सम सेक्टर. जैसे
Yeah,
आपने
definitely.
देखा कि भाई चाइना, people are now being wary of China for importing a lot of stuff. So do you think कि कोई एक ऐसी इंडस्ट्री है या कोई ऐसे सेक्टर्स हैं जो इस प्रॉब्लम के अंदर ऑटोमेटिक बेनिफिशियरी हैं, रादर देन जो लोग इससे इम्पैक्ट हो रहे हैं?
Bilkul. Very good question. And supply chains will change, Prakash, totally. The way the global supply chains were set up, where intermediate goods were being made, China was finishing them, adding some value, then shipping it out, वो सब change हो रहा है. आज एक बड़ा चेंज होगा जब प्रेसिडेंट ट्रम्प प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहे हैं, एंड अगर वो डिक्लेयर करते हैं कि हांगकांग ऑटोनोमस नहीं है एनी मोर. हांगकांग फ्री ट्रांसशिपमेंट करता था, तो चाइनीज गुड्स वुड गेट अ स्टैम्प ऑफ हांगकांग एंड गेट शिप टू द वर्ल्ड. And so, things like these change the reality overnight. So, as you mentioned, globalization will reduce. Companies will focus on localization. Japan is giving $3 billion to its companies to help them relocate out of China. I'm expecting Trump will also give some stimulus to US companies to find other producers rather than China. So, relocation will happen, localization will happen. Localization in the developed markets can only happen with automation. So, a lot of robots will come in. Human beings will not be working so much, but manufacturing could move back to US and to Europe based on a lot of automation. So that is a big risk in terms of jobs, but that looks like a trend which will come. Then diversification will happen. Nobody will want that I have one supplier of APIs, like China is supplying 37% of the global chemical supply chain. India is supplying only 3%. So when the crisis has hit, everybody is saying, help Indian companies to come up also. That's why chemical stocks
Yeah,
have run up so much. Chemical stocks have 20 different type of sectors within chemicals, from agrochemicals to APIs to intermediates to biologicals, you name it, and it continues.
yeah,
But big theme is China has a stranglehold. European and US companies have the stranglehold on the IP. So they make the bulk chemicals, the Bayers and all of this world. They make the bulk chemicals. Chinese make the APIs and the finished goods. India has a small portion, but and because of pollution and all those things, nobody wants these chemical plants in their neighborhood. So I think India will be a beneficiary there. Pharma, we are seeing quite clearly the way Prime Minister Modi sent chloroquine to the US. Paracetamol, we are the biggest producers. So that shift is happening, and you're seeing a re-rating of Indian pharma, for example. So all those things will happen.
okay,
So diversification. relocation, localization, automation, and modularization. Like a typical automobile needs 30,000 components, and you can't really make the auto without those. You can't say steering wheel nahi dalta hu, या windshield nahi hai. 30,000 components जाते हैं. But what Tesla has done, it has cut down the number of components and making it modular, interchangeable between models. A lot of modularity will also come. So design thinking, future design, all those things will start coming in. So अगर आपका चाइना सप्लाई चेन बंद हो जाता है वियतनाम के और थाईलैंड और फिलीपींस और इंडोनेशिया और इंडिया, companies will diversify their supply chain. Instead of पहले क्या होता था, one Chinese factory employing 30,000 people is only making socks, is only making hosiery. You couldn't compete. India, the biggest, the Gokuldas and all these would have 2,000 people. And we would say these are very big factories. So Chinese whole towns would be making only socks. But now people will not want that I have one supplier where one virus comes and the whole town gets locked down and my supply chain goes for a toss. Yeah, these learnings have come in.
Yeah. One more point, important point, Ajay, you said is about data. एंड इट इज राइटली सेड कि पहले ऐसा होता था कि जो कंट्री या जो कंपनी ऑयल ओन करती है वो दुनिया पे राज करती है. नाउ इट इज डेटा. तो whoever owns data rules world. And there are interesting things happening around the world now. Facebook investing or taking 10% stake in Reliance Jio and a huge valuation. We just heard that even Google is looking at taking a stake in Vodafone Idea. The stocks today is up by almost 25%. How do you see the telecom industry? क्या जो टेलीकॉम इंडस्ट्री पिछले 2-3 साल से बहुत ज्यादा खराब हालत में थी, क्या वो बढ़ेगी? एंड हाउ द एंटायर टेलीकॉम सेक्टर फॉर इंडिया लुक्स लाइक?
It's looking very good after about 12 years of underperformance. So बहुत खराब performance रहा है 10-12 साल से. पिछले 2-3 साल तो बहुत ही खराब रहा. And if you see the number of players that got knocked out, that went bankrupt and left the country, so then you realize that the sector has really gone through a very bad patch. But now there are only three players left. The government player is, it will get finished sooner or later. Either it will merge into one of the three or it will get shut down. So, or it will be kept for strategic reasons. So, for defense and all that, it will be kept. So, there will be three players. Maybe it will go down to two players. The value added part of telecom is the excitement, and telecom plus value added into finance, into entertainment, into e-commerce, into shopping, into office work, work from home, into conferences like what we are doing today. We would have spent so much time, money, effort on logistics, and 100 people would have come to a hotel and spoken to them, and it would have taken 5-6 hours of preparation just to get the logistics up and running. Now see the productivity gains that are happening now. So telecom is at the center of it. This is one sector, along with information technology, communication, telecom. All these three will do very well. IT, because of the cloud, because of all the hosting, because of the software. Communication, they are really laying the backbone of enabling all this. And then
Okay.
healthcare. Healthcare will be the other beneficiary. Then
Okay.
e-commerce, online players, all these are doing well.
Great. So if for next 1 year, if you have to pick like one sector, yeah, maybe two sectors, you feel कि these will be the dark horses. And dark horses in a sense, if they are not that exposed to the times that we are, but a bit insulated. So which are the two sectors that you feel that they will outperform?
Telecom will outperform even more from here. That's one. And pharma. Again, now pharma story is halfway through, I would say, because it was a sector which was did very well till about 2013 14. Last 4 5 years it was out of favor, and then last 1 year it started coming back. Now is the time for pharma. Contrarian wise, I would say auto will come back. And the China numbers, if you see in April, they sold 4% more cars than April of 2019. It was very
Oh,
surprising.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Capgemini has done a survey across the world, and youngsters below the age of 35, nearly 65% of them want to buy a car when the lockdown gets over.
Mm,
So nobody wants to go into an Uber, Ola. In
yeah.
many countries, the public infrastructure is not there. When we started working in the 90s in Bombay, we used to travel by the trains, or
Right.
we used to manage. Nowadays, it's become very difficult. Of course, 80 lakh people travel every day in Bombay by trains, but for the normal office goer, it's become a challenge. So, entry level cars, two wheelers, these will do very well. And already the market is re rating them. This is a good time to get into auto ancillaries. Auto is not dying. We thought that with Uber, Ola, and the sharing economy, nobody wants to own an auto. Uber had made it so easy. Now, till the
Yeah.
vaccine is found, till we find a way where the car gets sanitized after every use, so
It is.
some equipment is made which fumigates the car after every use. People will not take that chance. You will not take a shared Ola or a shared Uber, not knowing how infected the person sitting next to you is. So all those things will be a challenge, and I think the car purchases will go up. Entry level cars and two wheelers, these are looking good.
Great. I see a lot of questions which are coming, and one question which dominates is finance sector. Last 1 year, 18 months, overall Nifty has a huge composition of finance as a sector, BFSI as a sector. And there have been some phenomenal runs in stocks, especially like, ICICI Bank or HDFC, even Bajaj, Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv. Obviously we all know ki lending and banking sector will take the pain of this entire lockdown and even downturn of the economy. How do you see that finance as a sector will perform in next 12 to 18 months of time?
See, the biggest issue with finance is how do you value it? Because the government has allowed everybody not to pay interest. So, and you saw Bajaj Finance in the conference call, they said 37% checks are bouncing. You see, microfinance companies, 98% of customers are not paying interest. They have asked for a moratorium.
Yeah.
In banks, anything from 35 to 50% customers have stopped paying. And this pain will increase because India, in realistic terms, the amount of money that has gone in, it's gone to the poorest people where it was needed. But
Hmm.
to the middle class, unlike in the US, where $1,200 has gone to everybody's account, or in Hong Kong, where $10,000 have gone to everybody, Canada, Europe, where jobs have been saved by the government paying the salaries. In India, we
Yeah.
have seen job losses, and there will be accelerated moratoriums. So already government has said till August you need not
Yeah.
pay. The risk is that a lot of SMEs, even before going into the crisis, one survey had come out, one third of SMEs had only 1 month of cash flow available in their bank account. Uh, Another one third could survive for 2 months. And in 6 months, everybody was wiped out. Nobody had more than 6 months, mostly. So one third would have gone under already.
Already. Yeah.
So you're talking of huge cuts of NPAs coming in, and we have no way of knowing because RBI has allowed them to defer. We will only
Yeah.
know by September or December. So how do you value? And it's not a cheap sector; it's a very expensive sector. The third big thing is, will it stop at August? When you
Yeah.
see minus 40% fall in earnings, companies
Hmm.
have written to SEBI that we don't want to declare April to June
Some
results.
results. Yeah. Yeah.
वी
Yeah.
विल डू 6 मंथ रिजल्ट्स. वो 6 मंथ्स में भी कुछ नहीं होने वाला. फिर वो क्या 1 साल में करेंगे? देन तो मार्केट ही बंद है ना. देन वी माइट एज वेल सिट इन गोल्ड. 1 साल बाद देखेंगे. How do you value a company? That is the biggest issue. And the other thing is, now Supreme Court is taking up the PIL, where people are saying RBI should allow that interest should not be paid. Okay,
Yeah.
government has done the lockdown. Then you ask government to pay. Why should the banker who has given you the loan you're enjoying, the banker should write off that interest? The banker also has shareholders, all of us. The NBFC has taken loans from banks to lend to you. You don't pay the NBFC, and if the Supreme Court allows you a 6 month not a deferral, but just a waiver, a write off, companies will be finished. So that is the scary part.
Yeah.
Still, if you see FIs, out of 300 odd billion dollars that FIs have put into India, 75 billion is in BFSI. So they do see that India is under penetrated, it is just starting. Just to give you an idea, India mutual fund industry is what, $3 trillion. China is $30 trillion. सो वो स्केल जो देखते हैं, देन दे से इंडिया में फाइनेंस में तो आना है. सो दे आर सेइंग मल्टीपल इयर्स दिस विल सॉर्ट आउट. But as individual investors, you might not get any return for the next 1 year. So, in a
Right.
stock specific market, you have to be careful. Whatever is quality is not cheap. Whatever is cheap will not give you any returns.
Great. So, Ajay, just one question for our customers, because the more and more customers that come to us are the new investors. So they
Yeah.
are the ones who are approaching capital market for the first time. So they don't
Hmm.
have baggage of last 5-10 years of whatever crisis we saw in 2008, or maybe the entire 2009 to 2013. All that they have not seen. They are now coming. Even they have not seen the fall that happened in last 3 months. They mostly came in last 3 to 4 months. So what would be your suggestion as a veteran investor, that what they should do when they are starting their investment decision for the first time in their life? So how they should behave, what they should do?
Yeah, Prakash, it's asset allocation is very critical. So, you have to risk only that money which you don't mind losing. A stock market, we say in stock market is designed to inflict the greatest pain to the greatest numbers. मार्केट का डिजाइन ऐसा है कि सबके कपड़े उतार के बैंक लगा के भेजना है वापस. Market is designed to inflict the maximum pain to the greatest number. A few people make the money. Traders may 90% lose money, 4-5% break even, 4-5% are spectacularly successful. Investors पैसा बनाते हैं. Warren Buffett will make money. वो इन्वेस्टर हैं, वो इतना ट्रेडिंग करते हैं, तो जब उनके टर्म्स पे, आई मीन व्हाट अ ग्रेट इन्वेस्टर इज that he came and invested in Goldman Sachs in 2008 at the crisis with lot of safety nets and made solid money. Now he let go of his position in Goldman Sachs. But
Yeah.
वैसे इन्वेस्टर आज के दिन में प्रकाश, he is sitting on $137 billion of cash. 450 बिलियन उनका पोर्टफोलियो है. $450 billion of portfolio, 137 billion he is sitting in cash. So the new investor, all of us are sitting at home. We are reading media reports that lakhs and lakhs of Indians have started trading. How the trading cycle works: in the beginning, you will make money. You will think that I'm greater than the market. It's a very simple thing, and then you will lose all your account. And the loss will stay for 3 to 5 years. Hardly any trader makes money in the market for the first 3 to 5 years. So जो ट्रेडिंग आपको करना है, वो उतना पैसा लगाइए जो आप गवा सकते हैं. 5%, 10% साइड में रख के उस पे आप ट्रेडिंग करिए. लेवरेज मत करिए, मार्जिन पे मत करिए, क्योंकि वो दैट मार्जिन, क्लासिक केसेस ऑयल इन अप्रैल, जब
Yeah.
April
It went
contract of
negative.
oil, which went negative overnight. 400 crores of losses have happened. People took a 5 lakh, 10 lakh rupees position in buying oil. They never knew that $1 of oil can go to minus 37. So you're buying something and then you end up paying $37. 400 crores of disputed assets, disputed losses are there in the Indian market. We don't know what can go wrong. तो इसलिए leverage नहीं करना है. Third क्या करना है? For starting investors, do small trades with very strong stop losses. Automatically stop loss डाल दीजिए. 5 पैसा you allow stop loss
Yeah.
to be put
Yeah.
in as you initiate the position. Stop loss tight रखिए. चार है कि don't go by hints या what you heard some neighbor telling you या टीवी पे हम जो लोग बोलते हैं, because वो बदल जाती है, स्थिति बहुत जल्दी बदल जाती है. Do your own research. So there is no shortcut to success. It has to be done the hard way. And the smartness comes with time. Even Warren Buffett didn't do very smart work in the beginning. Only after 50 years old, his wealth really took off. आप वो देखिए, there is a George Soros and Stanley Druckenmiller,
Hmm.
uh, at the height of the dot-com craze. Every day they were analyzing that this will crash, but हिम्मत नहीं थी किसी की के market से निकल जाए. And March 15th, 2000, when the Nasdaq topped out, nobody knew कि ये top है. It had been going vertically.
Yeah.
He put in $6 billion.
I think we lost internet. We'll take a pause.
Sorry, it's a
Yeah.
unstable network. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he lost most of that $6 billion. So much so, George Soros took over the fund himself then, and he's been very successful after that in his own fund. उनके सामने value investor Julian Robertson, in 20 years he had made clients money 85 times, 85 times. And he closed down his fund on March 30th. He says, I cannot wait and invest in cash burning companies with no profits. I would rather return the money to my investors. He gave back the money, and look at his timing. Warren Buffett made minus 60% in that year. He sat at home, he did old economy. He kept with the Coca Cola and Amex and Wells Fargo investments. And he wrote in that year's letter that I might as well not have come to office. But when the NASDAQ went from 6,000 to 1,000, that year Warren Buffett outperformed some 100%. So I would, now people are abusing Warren Buffett that he's lost his touch. He bought IBM, he bought airlines, he's making money from Apple. What is different? ठीक है. I would still place my money on Warren Buffett. If he is sitting on cash, there is a big crash coming. It will happen sooner or later. These investors are normally not wrong, despite the stimulus. And in
Mhm.
stimulus also, I read a lot on history to see in the 1970s, there was a huge stimulus by Richard Nixon when he took the US off the gold standard, and it
Yeah.
ended very badly. Nobody knew how to get out of it. Same thing in 2008, if you see the expansion in the balance sheet of the central banks, that has not been able to be brought down by, if anything, we are just increasing it. So at some point, this bubble will burst spectacularly. We have to be ready for it. And one last, point, Prakash, I would like to say, we have
Yeah.
seen the Uri attack. That day, market went down so badly. Balakot. Now you have China sending two aircraft carriers near to Taiwan. Iran is shipping oil to Venezuela every day. Trump has to be re-elected. Xi
Yeah,
Jinping has to save his job. Like that, every country is trying to blame someone else from outside for all its
yeah,
troubles. You don't know when what flashpoint will come. We can't permanently hedge our portfolios. Professionals in the hedge fund side, we would buy puts and hedge. A normal
yeah.
investor cannot. That's why it's very critical. Don't have leverage. उतना ही पोजीशन लीजिए जो आप 100% लॉस भी लेके जा सकते हैं. And third, be prepared कि ये black swan events which used to happen once in 20 years, they are happening every year now. So
Yeah.
market will come back, but you might be wiped out by the time the market came back. That is what. So survival is very critical. Risk management is critical. Position sizing, stop loss. These are the mantras for the new investors.
So one question that I see on the screen by an investor that does a case of 50% decline in Q1 earnings means the stock will correct 50% or rather it has already corrected. So whether when in Q2 and Q3 when the earnings go up, whether market will go up along with that.
Market will go before. So
Yeah.
markets are discounting mechanisms. Markets are forward looking. मोस्ट ऑफ द डेटा जो हम कहते हैं ना लैग्ड इंडिकेटर्स होते हैं
Hmm.
कोइंसिडेंटल एंड लीडिंग मार्केट is a front ending mechanism, it's a discounting mechanism. So market knows that April to June earnings will fall 40-50%. It has already discounted it.
Yeah.
In fact, when it falls, that day the market will go up. So it will go up in anticipation of December or April already by September. Market would
Yes.
have already started discounting it. It's normally looking 6 months ahead. So the March fall in the markets has already discounted this 40% destruction in earnings to a large extent.
Okay. Okay. So you see that Q2 and Q3 might be a bit better than obviously Q1.
Yes, definitely. Already the numbers are showing up. Credit Suisse did a leading indicator survey, like e-way bills, which were down to about 20-30%, are now
Yeah.
at 60% of normal volumes. Electricity is increasing, freight movement has started increasing. So 7-8 indicators are showing that the economy is coming back, but we are very far away from normalization. What is coming back
Absolutely.
is also very small. And large pockets like Maharashtra is 12% of India's GDP is Maharashtra. Southern states have done better, thankfully. They are large portions of India's GDP. But industry wise, Gujarat, Maharashtra, the Delhi belt are very important. And all three
Yeah.
are in the red zone and
Yeah.
largely. So we are going to lose a lot of GDP. That's why they've said -5% for this year. But
Yeah.
market by September will look at that FY22, we are going to grow 9.5%. So it will start
9.5%.
discounting that. So
Counting.
in
Yeah.
the short term, I'm expecting a strong correction, but I would be an investor. I'm keeping my powder dry and I will jump in immediately, seeing कि कहाँ पे growth आएगी जो गिरा है. Some of that
Hmm.
will not pick up. Restaurants, cinemas, I don't know how fast they will pick up, but it is online, IT, telecom, pharma, auto, metals, cyclicals, they will all start pick up. Even financials, once we see the September results, we'll have a good idea. And before that company meetings, we will start getting an idea of what is the flow through. There is a
Yeah.
lot of pain in financials. What happens normally, Prakash, in such matters is the quality guys eat the market share of everybody. So,
Hmm.
when HDFC started in 94, it was a new bank, it didn't exist. today it is equal to two times the public sector banks market cap put together.
Yeah.
So the
Correct.
quality guys, the top two, three guys will eat everybody's lunch. So one way out of recession is just you buy the quality and don't think of the valuation. Just buy it and fill it, shut it, forget it. So there are a lot of fund managers which do that only. We say buy low, sell high. They say नहीं. India में value trap होता है. Buy low नहीं करना है. You say buy high and sell higher.
Yeah.
That is a better situation in India. Buy quality. Your MNC, FMCG, MNC pharma will always do well. Very well run companies, very tight ships. Acha, another thing you can look at is return on equity, the ROE number. Whoever has high ROE, fundamentally the stock will return you the ROE over a long period of time. So if you have companies with negative working capital running at 30-35% ROEs, IT
Right.
IT don't put up any new plants. They buy laptops and computers and new offices. वो भी a work from home से costs will go down.
Yes.
So telecom is very capex heavy, so उसका ROE इतना अच्छा नहीं होता है. That's why they take huge debt, and if the revenues don't come, but telecom में pricing change हो रहा है. Your ARPU of 120 has gone to 140. They are talking of taking it to 300, and then that changes, because that fixed cost ही है. उसके बाद the network cost is hardly anything, and if you can per millions of consumers, you make them pay 10 rupees, 20 rupees more, it changes the companies totally.
Changes again. Absolutely. One interesting question. I think we are almost at the end of our webinar, but one interesting question that I see by one of our viewer is that whether printing money is a good idea. I mean, we know that US is doing it. There are a lot of countries who are doing it. Do you think it's a good idea? Whether it puts inflationary pressure in the economy in the long run? How is it for US and also for other countries globally?
There are very interesting researches. Classical economics says that if more money chases less goods, then inflation happens. So that's why don't print money. Government should run balanced budgets. What has come through now, especially with negative rates or zero rates, you are seeing you can print money and still you will see deflation. And biggest example is Japan. Japan has been printing money for 30 years and it has not seen inflation. In fact, they are trying to 2%. We can send them some inflation. Or they're trying desperately for 2% inflation. Europeans were very, very afraid of the hyperinflation of the 1920s, which led to the World War. That's why they were against inflation. Now, with negative rates, anybody can print any amount, at least in the short term. And frankly, Prakash, at this scale, nobody knows because वो इतना complex organism है. All the models work on very small assumptions. At this scale, $3 trillion. I mean, a $20 trillion economy puts in 3 trillion of stimulus. It's unheard of. 40% of GDP. Japan 5 trillion ka economy. They are putting 2 trillion stimulus. Unheard of. What will happen? Everybody is guessing. But in this very low rates, inflation nahi aata hai. That is what we know. Let's see now what happens next year and the year after.
Great, great, great. So I think we are almost there at the end of webinar. Ajay, thank you very much for joining in and sharing your insight. In conclusion, I would say that these are difficult times. Everyone have to be cautious. So but first of all, the most important thing everyone should do is take care of your health. If not necessary, don't step out. Be at home. I think we all are working from home and it is business as usual. And I think we all are spending more time working now because we are more efficient, because we have more time in our
Absolutely.
hands. So but take care of yourself, take care of your health, and also your portfolio. What Ajay says is diversify your portfolio. Don't trade, don't take leverage. Identify sectors which are going to help in next 12 to 18 months, which are a bit insulated. He also gave his top two or three sectors that he feels will give good returns. So on that note, thanks a lot, Ajay, for joining in. Have a good time.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks.